Okay, today's the day. LME build is going to be leaving. So this is a LT4 6.2 416 built by LME. All we have done thus far is take it apart, paint it, put it back together. And once I said take it apart, no internals, just like covers and stuff. Put a polish pan on it, CVF kit. It's getting this LT4 Supercharger over here from Kong. This is the one that's been ported. It's massive, it's huge. Getting this 8-speed with the Circle D converter, a few other little odds and ends. Dad's working on the kind of a crappy job. We've done it once on video, and it almost turned out to be kind of a funny video because it just it didn't start working out like when we started filming. So he's swapping. We got new. These are new rails, but they're like 6.2 injectors. Yeah. So he's swapping out injectors for the LT4 injectors. We got brand new LT4 injectors. So this is a pretty expensive build, and everything's going back on it to new. So what I'm about to do now is just get the transmission off the stand back there, get it on a cart, get the converter stabbed, get that out of the way, start doing some little stuff that I can do while he's doing that. Coils, put the coils on, stuff like that. And then it's getting also, I forgot, Speed Engineering long tube headers. And then we got to get it off this stand, put a flywheel on it, which I got a flywheel over there somewhere. And this will probably be the last motor we get for a while. Summertime, people go on vacation, kids are out of school, and it slows down, which is cool because we've got that back there to work on, and just not a lot of money for it yet. So if you're inclined to, click that give thanks button on the video and throw a little money my way, and we can get some more parts. The transmission down on the ground, got the converter here. Let me correct myself real quick. I think I said 8-speed earlier. This is a 10-speed. So this is the 10-speed, and this is a converter for this motor. I don't know anything about it, but you can see the millimeter the whatever it says right there, HP series single, blah blah blah. $2,149. So these ain't cheap. And this is an unboxing of it. So this one's going to get 6 bolts, I think, is what it gets. Comes with a little fancy deal there to keep it from rattling around on shipping. And yep, usually they include a few things. Yeah, right here. So you get a couple stickers, you get a pin, you get a koozie, and you get your bolts and your shims. And like I said, that's all a lot of money right there. A lot of money. Yep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lube up this out. Put a little grease on here. That way it's not dry on that seal. Get it stabbed in there, and we'll start getting this. We gotta get the motor off the stand, and then get the flywheel put on it, and get moving. So y'all seen me stab quite a few of these, and so like your 6-speed, it has the cutout, like almost like a cross, or it's got a cross in here, and then this is cut out so it fits in. Your 8-speeds have 2 flats on the converter, and then 2 like little half moons inside the transmission. Your 10-speeds, if you look, flat, 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 flat. So you got 4 flats. So these are extremely hard to line up compared to 6-speeds are easiest. 8-speeds kind of difficult because the flats are very, very hard to see inside there. And then these are the most difficult. So fun. All right, so Dad's in the back painting another transmission. Turns out the one that was here that we had already painted black is a non-PWM transmission, but the input shaft coming out, if you go back and watch the video, it's smooth, and then it was a gear, and then a gear, right? So the transmission that actually works with that torque converter from Circle D that we got is gear, smooth, and then gear. So what we found out today is there's 3 different 10-speeds. There's a PWM, and there's 2 different non-PWMs. And I think it's kind of the same with the 8s. But we're learning as we go. So he's not extremely happy about having to paint another transmission, but we're trying to get this guy's stuff finished up today. Luckily, there was another 10-speed that had the correct input shaft that we needed. So, and it was clean, it was good. So we're gonna shoot it. He's shooting it black real quick because the guy wants everything kind of blacked out except for the polished stuff. And then we're gonna put it in front of a fan or maybe put it out in the sunlight. I'm not sure. Get it dry quick enough so we can get this going. I've been messing with this cam harness. We didn't have one when I bolted all the stuff on. It is possible to get to all this stuff. It's just extremely, extremely difficult. But got it in there, so the cam harness is in. I'm about to put the LT4 pump on, then put the fuel rails on, get that going, and then I still got to swap out, or not swap out, but put a flywheel on it. So we got our brand new LT4 pump here. Like I was saying before, these were pretty hard to get for a little bit, and they are not cheap. So we got our pump on, and then Dad was nice enough to. Okay. Dad was nice enough to go ahead and swap all the injectors over. We had new rails, but they had, I think they were 6.2 injectors. We need these, the LT4 injectors. That's what these are now. Get this down in there. Looking good. I explained to him that we had there's 3 different types of 10 speeds now that we're aware of, and that, yeah, we had a PWM, can't use it. 2 non-PWMs. Input shafts are different year models. So 8 speeds, I think, are starting to be the same way. Just got to do your homework, pay attention, and this wasn't on us. This was dropped off to us, so that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, so
definitely got to do homework on what converter goes to what transmission.
yeah. There's different the converter makeup. Like I was saying about the input shafts, you got gear, smooth gear, or you got smooth gear. And like I said, if you go back in the video of us trying to stab that converter and looking at the input shaft, you'll understand what we're talking about. I've already got the converter stabbed on this new one, so I'm not messing with it. It's been painted, it's drying, and we're gonna continue on. And for the first time, I've got actually a new crossover. So something we don't normally get. We reuse the old ones like everybody else on the internet does, but we got brand new ones for this real big expensive engine. So that's what we're doing. Bad deal. Y'all come with me here. Come over here on this side.
Yeah.
So the LME valve covers mount your coils at a little different angle, kind of cool looking.
Well, yeah, they probably got their own line of plug wires.
Maybe so, yeah. Now we found, I think, that the ones we like are the short little MSD ones, and they come with straight boots, which we learned is perfectly fine because it allows you to bend the boot how you want to bend it. And I don't think we ever got into that. You burnt up a wire or something. Come back from the last show, it was touching your header, and you tried to do some other wires, and yeah, and then I reminded you that Mr. Freeze had the MSD wires that didn't touch anything, and that's what you ended up doing.
And then also found out with a little research that the shorter the wire, the better off you are on resistance in the wire. So you get a better spark, hotter spark.
That does make sense.
I travel as far.
Okay.
And you know, of course, the thicker the wire, your 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, whatever you're running.
Right. Stock bolts ain't gonna work. No. Nope. So with LME valve covers, you cannot use the stock bolts, which I didn't really want to use the stock bolts anyway because they're not polished. I thought like a nice polished bolt would look good, but I don't think we have anything that'll work. Yeah, those little short ones are too short. The long ones are too long, I think. We'll have to do some research here and see what we got. Okay, so this is the second 10-speed of today with the right input shaft in it for the converter. Got the circle D converter in. We're about to stab the transmission on, got the flywheel on. We did not have the correct size length bolts, so these are just on there. But the LME valve covers, just in case anybody wants to know, you can't use the factory bolts. They're too long. So we're gonna have to go to the hardware store or something and get something different. But for now, we're gonna stab the transmission on the motor, and then get the long tube headers on, and that's it. This one will be done. Be out the door. All right. So for this one, for us, we are done. Supercharger is just sitting up there. We don't have the bolts for it, so it's gonna, before it gets wired and fired and all that good stuff, it'll get gone through. And we didn't have any header bolts, so I got just a couple of placeholders. We left the plastic on so it don't get scratched up. But this is a big, expensive build for this guy. We didn't do any internals, right? So just cosmetic stuff, CVF kit, transmission, stab the converter, that kind of stuff. Dad did a great job on the hat. They already come black, but it's kind of it's like this, kind of a satin finish black. So he did his paint work on it, and then he tapes all this off. Looks real good. The build for this thing, it's way too extensive. Nobody's going to want to sit here and listen to me read everything. But what I'll tell you is, if you're interested in something and you got this kind of money this guy has, this is a 416 LT4 build from LME. I mean, and it's got, I'll just read some of the highlights. Proprietary, short block, balanced blueprinted, all ARP. What else? It has competition valve job. Let's see. Callie's forged 40, 4340 crank, stroked board, Wiseco 416 forged boost pistons because it's got a supercharger on it. The cam's a custom grind, LS7 lifters, which that's pretty standard. We do that here. And then DOD delete, because believe it or not, the LT4s still come DOD. So it's just a lot. I'm not going to read everything, but it's just a lot of build. And then the goal for this thing is 800 plus at the wheels is what LME and I guess the guy have spec'd out. And I think I have a dyno sheet somewhere. There was a dyno sheet floating around. I don't know if I still have it. They dynoed it, naturally aspirated, no supercharger, and it made 600 plus. So, and that's at the flywheel, 600 plus, I think it was. So, and I think they're spec'd at 650, something like that. So it with the supercharger, they're spec'd at 650 with the supercharger from GM. So this one made 6 something without a supercharger. So it ought to do what the guy wants, and it's going in a 62 Corvette, which is all black as well. So it's going to sit pretty cool in there. It's going to look pretty nice. Dad's finishing up the final paperwork on it, and there's a good look at that Kong ported blower. Thing is ridiculous. Huge. This may be the last motor for a little bit, and then I can get to working on the truck a little bit. My truck, the 66 that's covered up back there. Maybe the next couple of weekends. Got a lot to do on it. So thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe, like, share. Ring the notification bell. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.